All right, my friends, I am Catherine, and I have tried this once already, and I messed it up. I messed up on the shrinking. This is shrink plastic, by the way. I've drawn a butterfly on it. Now you're up to date. I messed up shrinking the last one. The wings curled around themselves and like melted down hard enough that I could not get it back up again, and it was ruined. So we're gonna try again. I've got some colors here, mostly blue, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green, a little bit of black. Let's just get rolling on this. I drew this butterfly by first drawing half a butterfly, then folding the paper in half and cutting it out so that I had two opposite sides that I could trace. Pretty simple stuff. You should be able to do it if you want to be able to recreate this. This will shrink down to like a nice pendant size, like maybe for hanging on a necklace. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. I'm a little frustrated having messed up the shrink on the last one. As you might be able to tell, I had given it the Sharpie, I drew this in Sharpie, by the way. I'd given the Sharpie a data set so that it wasn't all soft and picking up on the tips of my markers and everything, and I ruined it. That's okay. Now we know. Just be careful with your shrink. Try to keep things even. Try to not let things get too messed up. Just coloring in sort of quickly, and then putting a nice thick layer of yellow right here, because we can always cover over the lighter color with the darker color, but it's really hard to cover a darker color with a lighter color where markers are concerned, at least. Now, chalk pastels, that would be a different story, but this is not a chalk pastel. So we're just going to do a nice thick layer of yellow, because we can always cover over it later. Go. Bring that in right like that. Ooh, I've got to bring this one further in then. I brought that in further than I did the first one. That's okay. It'll all work out. And then color these sections in yellow. And that should be it for the yellow. Next color is the sort of greenish color. I'm going to do a very similar thing. Sort of take the sort of greenish color and color a nice wide band of it. Because again, we can color over it with the darker color. And then what we're going to do is bring it out and blend it over the yellow. See how those are blending together? These are water-soluble markers. So when you color over a previous color, at least on plastic like we're coloring on now, it picks up that previous color and they mix, which gives us a kind of fun blended experience. Oh, there we go. Let's just even that out a bit, shall we? There we go. Something like that. Okay. Color in all the parts that aren't yellow and then blend into the yellow, hopefully. And just blend into the yellow. Go, so we get a more yellowish green. Like we meant to do it the entire time. Like that was always our intention. Maybe drag that lighter bit of green backwards into the darker bit of green and just sort of work everything out. Okay. Sort of like that. Even that up. Go. sort of okay. And then just go right over the top edges of there with the green. Like so. And then fill these whole sections in with that greenish color. Just like we mean it, like we're just coloring. And it doesn't matter how light these colors show up on here, because when we shrink them, they will go so bright. That's part of the advantage of shrink plastic. It goes very, very bright, vibrant once you shrink it, which is a really awesome and fun thing, but can make it difficult to end up with lighter, softer colors once it's all shrunk and done. Go something like that. Then we take our lightish blue and do the same thing, just go in a little bit here and just blend the green and the blue together, hopefully, sort of, kind of. The same thing on the opposite side, just blending the green and blue together, down the wing a ways. And then the opposite direction, bring it up a ways. And these bottom wings will end up, hopefully, intentionally, darker than the top wings do. But we'll see how that goes. This is going to be a pretty vibrant and dark and mysterious butterfly, so far as I can figure anyway. Go right like that. And then let's go like that, and then color in all of this. And then, once we've got it all colored in, same thing that we did before, blend it out. Doesn't have to be perfect, because shrinking will hide all of our mistakes. It'll make it look more blended, hopefully. It'll make it look nicer and cooler and funner, hopefully. And everything will turn out the way we want it to. Hopefully. I mean, obviously sometimes you shrink butterflies and their wings stick to themselves and get all curled up and ruined, and I was looking for it to show it to you, but I don't know where it ran off to. I probably chucked it across the room because I was a little frustrated with it, but that's okay. It will all work out, or it won't. Even if it doesn't work out, I'm going to show you guys this version of it, because reasons. Well, because sometimes things don't work out, because sometimes things just don't end up the way that you want them to be, and that's okay too. Go. All right, there's the lighter blue, and now for the darker blue. Which is really almost a purpley color, which I kind of like, but is definitely not actually a purple, because I do have an actual purple, and this is definitely blue when compared to it. Just blend it outward, drag it back inward, and should be kind of okay. And the same thing for the other side. And then we'll be able to cut it all out. Drag it outward, drag it back in, blending all the way, blending as we go. Sort of. These are, by the way, dollar store markers. Doesn't take anything special or fancy or neat to be able to do this. Just something that you can move around a little bit. Hopefully, anyway. Something you can push the ink back and forth with, and that's really all you need. Okay, and then last bit, and then we can cut it out, and hopefully, this time, shrink it down successfully. We shall, of course, see. Who knows? It may not end up successful again. Worst thing we can do is try. Okay, something like that. All right, something like that. Now, grab a scissors. And start cutting. Just start at one edge and work my way around. And just keeping the head touching the wings. I learned that from the last experiment. I'm calling it experiment now. I learned that from the last time I tried this butterfly as well, because when I try to put a hole through the head, if it's not securely and firmly on there, it will want to snap off, which is fine, but is really not fine, because we don't want it to do that. Right, and then round that down and around there and tuck it underneath and just bring it back outward. And trim that off real quick. And in toward the center and underneath and back outward. And again, bring my scissors in underneath and trim off, and almost there. One more time around in this direction, and we should be good. There we go. Okay, that gives us our butterfly. Now we just have to punch a hole in its head with our handy dandy cutting mat and our ever so useful hole punch. Always want to try to remember to punch the holes for hanging them before we shrink it, because if we have to punch it afterward, it's not going to turn out. It's not going to work. It's never as nice to have to punch it afterward. Okay, and that should be ready for shrinking. So we'll take and we'll try again. I've got a new heat gun. I've got the butterfly all ready to go. I've got a pencil to hold it in place. So we will just turn everything on and see what we see. Everything to shrink slowly and evenly, and hopefully not too terribly warped. Flatten back out. Come on, you can do it. Flatten back out. Yes, there we go. That's what we want. Just make sure everything's well and shrunk down. Okay. And turn it all off. And just maybe curl the wings upward just a little bit as it's cooling. That way, hopefully, it looks sort of in flight-ish. Oh, I just noticed I've got ink all over my fingertips, because of course I do. So let's just encourage that to cup upward everywhere. And encourage it to cool just a little bit. That'll be good. Okay, and that is going to keep its shape now. All right. How fun is that? That is lovely. I think anyway. And the color's brightened up really nicely. And that's going to make like an excellent necklace. Anyway, that's what I did today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't hesitate to let me know. I always love hearing from you. And I put up videos most days, so I hope to see you again tomorrow. And if you'd like to see the things that I do, remember to subscribe. I'll see you all later. Bye!